Hello and welcome to a very special Brampton Soccer Roundtable discussion. My name is Benedict Rhodes, and joining me are two very special guests. First up, we have my fellow Waking the Red staffer, Tej Sahota. How are you, Tej?
I'm doing well, Ben. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And, we're also very happy to be joined by recently signed Valor FC forward Sean Hundal. How are you doing, Sean? And thanks for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me.
Tej, you want to start us off here?
Yeah, Sean, thank you so much for joining us, and hope the weather in Winnipeg is treating you well, and you haven't hit by a snowstorm late yet. So first of all, for the walk us back to your kind of childhood. When did you start getting into soccer? When did you get into Brampton? Just kind of fill us in on a little bit about that for those of the people who haven't followed your career so far.
So I grew up in Brampton. I was born in Brampton. Started off playing for Caledon though, but because it was just the closest thing because I lived more in North Brampton. My parents being Indian as well, like the easiest sport to kind of put me in was soccer. And they just threw me in there, and then I just played. And then, like, as I was playing, coaches approached me or whatever. From there, I went from Caledon Soccer Club. I went to A&B Academy. I went there for around a year or so. And that's when I transitioned from being a defender to a striker. And I went to Brampton Youth. And then that's where more of my better, like, soccer days were. Like, for youth, from Brampton Youth, I got scouted by TFC, 13 years old, went there. Then I signed when I was around 16. So, yeah.
That's awesome. You mentioned being Indian, then a lot of people are going to soccer, and it's true. My son is 7 and he's going through the Little Kickers program. He was actually supposed to start the Toronto FC Academy program this summer, but then COVID hit, so that came to an end. But what do you think it is about soccer and the Punjabi community that's kind of they've kind of gone hand in hand in here? I see so many Punjabi kids out in the soccer field. In your experience, did you grow up with a lot of Punjabi friends playing as well, or did you find yourself like being one of the fewer ones?
I mean, my older cousin, I consider my brother, he played soccer when he was young, and he's 10 years older than me. So, I mean, when he was playing soccer, I was just growing up watching him. And I think a lot of the Punjabi parents, or like not even just Indian parents, everybody, they tend to put their kids in soccer because it's kind of the easiest thing to go for. It's less equipment, just sign someone up, not too expensive, and you get to just play for fun, whether it be house league or whatever it is. So I feel like that's part of the reason why like my parents put me in personally. But even now, like I see a lot more Indian kids, a lot more like just wanting to play soccer because I see India, the soccer market growing. Like I see the ISL growing, the national team growing, and I feel like even if there's kids coming at a young age from India coming to Toronto or Canada or wherever, they want to play soccer because that's the next big thing, the next big sport in that country.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, did you play any other sports growing up, or was it kind of from a young age? Did you know that soccer was going to be probably the way that you would go in the future, or were you a multi-sport athlete?
I would say I was multi-sport. I didn't play anything competitively, but I was really good at basketball. I actually asked my mom to let me switch to basketball in grade 6, but she just said no. So and I was kind of really scared to ask her to switch. So as soon as she said no, I didn't ask her again. So I mean, it kind of was a blessing, but I played basketball and I thought I was pretty decent at it, but stuck with soccer. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, I'll hand it over to Ben here.
Yeah.
You're eligible, I believe, to represent both Canada and India internationally. Has India ever been in contact with you, and would playing for them be something you'd consider?
Well, I like a lot of fans from India have been messaging me. A lot of them have been like reaching out to me, and I just did an interview actually a couple of days ago, and they've asked me the same questions. I mean, like my parents growing up there, my parents being born there, like my grandparents, everyone. Like obviously, I have a strong connection there. If the offer does present itself, like I wouldn't just shut it down right away. I would definitely want to consider it and see where it goes. But as of right now, I'm with Canada, and I got like all my mind is on Canada. I want Canada to make the World Cup. I want them to do well in the Gold Cup. Like my focus is on Canada for now until something else offers itself, and then if that happens, then I would definitely consider it.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you represented Canada yet on any sort of level, under 16, under 18, anywhere along the way?
So I represent like under 15, under 17, 18, 20, and 23 camps. Yeah,
that's right. Were you at a tournament in Texas a couple of years ago? Dallas, Texas. There's some good talent on that team there. So talk to us a little bit more about the Toronto FC2 experience and the academies. What was that like? Other Bramptonians, other Punjabi kids, other Indian kids you ran into, and then how did it feel transitioning from the academy into the TFC2, which is a big step, and a top tier soccer league?
Yeah. I mean, my time at TFC, I regret none of it. They've done so much for me as a club. Whether I'm there right now or not, like they're they're the ones who've kind of established me and got me where I am today. A big part of it was Rick Titus, Danny Dichio, those two coaches that really pushed me through. When I first got to TFC, Rick Titus really believed in me and kind of gave me that confidence to kind of express myself in the final third. And then moving up to Danny Dichio right before the Dallas Cup, actually, he trusted me a lot. He had put me in. I had confidence, and that was a coach I really wanted to play for and perform for, which is why I think I did well in that tournament specifically. And then right after coming from the Dallas Cup, I started training with TFC2. And yeah, Jason Bent, same thing. He really trusted me. I mean, I know when I got called up to the USL team, I think I didn't score for like 7 or 8 games in a row. And he still had the trust to put me in and let me keep playing because he knew, like he said I was doing everything but scoring. So he knew it was coming. And then, yeah, he believed me and kept playing me. And I think my first year I had like 23 starts as a 16-year-old in the USL. Yeah,
that's amazing.
So, yeah, everyone in the club really believed in me and pushed me. And yeah, I got nothing but love for that club. And especially for the kids coming up, like I see a lot more Indian people and a lot more people from Brampton specifically coming into Toronto FC, and they're kind of making dreams turn into reality over there because, like, yeah, there's only a few players at each age group that make the first team or whatever, but now that they got TFC2, it's kind of a stepping stone to kind of start a career, not if you're not with TFC, but maybe somewhere else.
Yeah. Sure. Ben, you covered TFC2 almost on the beat, right? You were probably our first beat reporter for Wake in the Red that covered TFC2 extensively. Were you not? Or
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, Sean, kind of want to circle back here a little bit. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. I know for a lot of Punjabi parents, sometimes like the sports that they play are the sports that we end up playing. Like I got into soccer from a very young age because my dad had played it back in Punjab. There's no hockey or basketball in Punjab in the 70s, right? And so, that's why he kind of got into soccer. How about your dad? Did your dad play a little bit as well, or?
No, actually, like all my brothers, like my dad and my uncle are like their families are very tight, so we consider ourselves one big family. So
the classic Chacha Taya story, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I got 4 brothers, I'd say. So, and every single one of us are very, very, very athletic, and we don't know exactly. Like I know, like maybe down the like I know like everyone was like in my dad's side was very strong and very fast, but no one really played sports. They were kind of like just living in the village or whatever, and I know they were very athletic people, but no one actually played an organized sport. My dad was more of like the smart type of guy. He was more into school and stuff, but my uncle was more of like the hands-on type of person. Like he's very strong himself, even being as old as he is, like 60 years old now. Yeah, like no one really played in my family, but my brothers and stuff, they're all really athletic, like maybe even more athletic than me, I'd say. So
that's awesome.
But
some good genes down that line there.
Yeah, but my mom's brother played field hockey for the Indian national team.
Sure.
But
Ben, anything to add on?
We're pretty sure we've got this correct. They'll be the second player of Punjabi heritage to play in the Canadian Premier League when you make your debut. How important is it for young players, do you think, to see someone who shares their heritage playing soccer on the biggest stage?
I think it's actually pretty big. Me growing up, like I obviously I didn't see any Indian players playing in North America. Like I didn't even think soccer was that big in India. I heard of Sunil Chetri, the captain of the Indian national team, but other than that, I didn't really follow him because I was young. I was born in North America. I mean, I get a lot of kids from Brampton message me just asking for tips or whatever it is. And like, it's very humbling for me. Like I really appreciate all the messages that I get from them, and knowing that like they're looking up to me, because it kind of shows that, yeah, you're from Brampton. Yeah, your parents are Indian, but that doesn't mean you can't be a professional athlete. That doesn't mean you can't make it higher than where I am. At least I'm at CPL, and I have goals to be somewhere way further than I am right now. And I kind of feel like it kind of gives these kids hope that if I can do it, just a normal kid from Brampton, why can't they do it? Yeah. And the same thing happened to me. Like even guys I was playing with are a year or 2 years older than me. When I was with TFC, when I was like 12, 13, like they're training with the first team, training with TFC2, and I'm like, wow, like I played with these guys. Whether they're not from Brampton or Indian or whatever it is, but I played with them. So it kind of gives you that confidence, saying that, okay, you don't have to be superhuman to be playing professional. You just got to work the way you're working, and when the time comes, you just got to take it. So I mean, it kind of gives you that realism that, you know, like anything's possible. It's not, you don't have to be anything spectacular to get to your goal.
That work ethic, where do you attribute that? Where does that come from for you?
My work ethic comes from my dad, my uncle, my brothers. Like they're all really, really hardworking people. Like my my dad and my uncle, they came here with nothing, and
Yeah.
they're very successful people. Like everything they're doing is it's unheard of. It's very rare to hear like people come from another country and not have anything and then do what they're doing. Especially, and also my brothers, both of them, like my oldest brother's working with my uncle and my dad. The second oldest, he did extra years in high school and now he's gonna be a doctor. Third oldest brother's working with my dad. So everyone's kind of has that work ethic to either pursue whatever my family built and take it further, or make a name for themselves, which, you know, like it's very, you don't see it a lot. You don't see that everybody in one family has a goal and they're all working towards it. Like some families got one person, two person, but I feel like it's my family that kind of pushes me to be where I want to be.
Keep you grounded and yet at the same time give you that platform to kind of push up a little bit. Yeah, that's awesome. You talked about currently being in the CPL, and I think there's no one would hide this, but you know, even Tristan Borges. Ben, am I saying that last name correctly?
Yep.
Is it? Yeah. You know, he had a spectacular season. Now he's moving on. Sean Hundal's idea of Sean Hundal's career path. Where do you see yourself in 2 years and 5 years? You know, what's kind of the goal here?
Right now, it's all about focusing on the CPL. Like my short-term goal for the tournament coming up for the CPL, I want to go in whatever games we have, 8 games, 11 games, whatever. I want to be the top goal scorer. I want to show that, like, the experience I have such a young age, like 85 USL appearances. I want to show that experience in the CPL. I know I'm a young player going into the league, but I think I'm one of the more decorated resumes going into the league. My goals for the next 2 years, 5 years, I definitely want to take a look at the Indian League sometime in my career. I've been already researching and looking at things over there. But and another one of my goals is hopefully playing for Toronto FC again, this time the first team. It's always been a goal of mine, just playing in my home city in front of my family, friends. And just wherever, I don't know where I'm going to be in 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, or by the end of my career, but those are definitely things I want to do before I retire. So
yeah, that's awesome. I know Ben had some questions about your CPL experience, so we'll go from there.
Oh yeah, I believe you told the league's website that you've been training with the team already before the whole COVID lockdown. What have you made of the club and the facilities and Rob Gale and the whole sort of Valor experience so far?
I love it. The facilities are really good. Everyone in the club is really, really welcoming and really know what they're doing. We're training at IG Field. It's a really big stadium. It's the Blue Bomber Stadium. Yeah. I can't complain about like how good the facilities are. I mean, the top class. Rob Gale, Damien, great coaches, right down to the physios. They're all great people. I've known Rob for a while now, and like I already knew what to expect from him. And I was just really, to be honest, I was just really looking forward to coming in and playing for him again, because he was definitely one of my favorite coaches growing up, and he pushed me a lot and gave me a lot. He called me up to the World Cup qualifiers in Costa Rica, and that was for 2 years older than my age. So I mean, like, he definitely trusts me as a player and definitely sees potential. So I was really excited to kind of reconnect with him and just play in front of him again and learn from him.
When the league does return, whenever that is, it'll be played behind closed doors. What do you think that experience would be like, and ever done anything like that before?
I don't know, like, I haven't done anything like that unless you count like playing in youth tournaments for like the weekend, I guess. But this is just gonna be a longer version of that, I guess. I think it's gonna be like 40 to 60 days, however long it's gonna be. We're gonna be in a hotel. It's gonna be tough. Everyone's kind of scrambling right now. Every team is kind of scrambling to get the last minute fitness in and just prepare as much as you can in the short window before it starts. I feel like it's gonna be tough for everyone living in a hotel for that long, not having your loved ones around you, not being able to have them watch you. You just got to motivate yourself, motivate yourself to play for your teammates and trust your teammates that they'll do the same, because I feel like that's the only way you're going to actually perform that many games in such a short period of time, is if you connect with your teammates on a different level, not just as teammates, but as brothers, like someone you really want to play for, or even your coach. You got to believe in everything you're doing, because it's very short amount of time to play that many games, and the last 10 minutes are going to be the toughest time of every game. And you're going to be tired when it comes down to the 5th, 6th game. And the only motivation you have is not going to be from the fans because they're not there. It's going to be from the guy standing beside you. And that's what matters the most.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You know, LeBron talked about the NBA bubble, it reminded of like AAU basketball, you know, just traveling teams. You're staying in hotel rooms and, you know, going to each other's rooms to play video games and stuff at night. So it's definitely going to be a different experience. Yeah. I want to circle back to Brampton here for a little bit. one of our colleague, Charlie O'Connor, he had talked about the other day, he made a very funny tweet or a message where he said, basically, unless on the broadcast, they specifically say where a Canadian player is from, 90% of the time you can assume they're from Brampton.
Yeah.
And it's so true. It's like there was a guy, Ben, who was the player that made the debut for the American team, and turns out he's from Brampton, not Toronto. It was maybe San Jose. I think they debuted a player who was from Brampton. It's going to escape me here for a second, but everywhere you look, we were talking. I put up a tweet the other day about if you took the best 11 from Brampton versus the best 11 from the rest of Canada. As a betting man, I'd probably put or the 18 from Brampton. I'd put against any 18 from the rest of Canada. I mean. And that's amazing because we got cities, Toronto and Vancouver and Montreal and Edmonton, Calgary, these huge cities, and little old Brampton's just producing soccer at a rate that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Sean, you're part of that system. You're part of that process. What have you seen? If you could go back and touch on and be like, this is what it is. Is it the ethnic makeup, the immigrant makeup of the city? Is it the amount of clubs? Like there's so many clubs here. Is it now the Ontario Soccer Center? Or is it all of it together? Like, what do you attribute that success to of Brampton and soccer in Canada?
I think it is the immigrants. I feel like it is like the parents that are coming from different countries all over the world. Sorry. I feel like it is the parents that are coming from all over the world. And that, sorry, it's my dad just keeps calling me.
No worries.
Yeah, so I feel like it is the parents from all over the world that just they come to Canada with so much drive and so much work ethic, and they kind of just put it onto their kids. And already I told you earlier that soccer is the easiest sport to get into. I feel like from like someone from wherever they're coming from putting their kids, that's just the easiest thing to put them in. And I feel like those kids are seeing firsthand what work ethic is, what hard work is, and they're kind of just putting that same energy, not into obviously growing a family or whatever because they're kids, but they're throwing that same work ethic into a sport or into one of their talents or whatever it is, and they're just grooming themselves to be better and better. And I feel like that's what it basically is. And then and Brampton's very small. A lot of people from like whether you're on Goreway and Countryside or Fletcher's and wherever, like some people from both areas, and you're playing with them, them, and as you get older, you're friends with them. But I feel like Brampton is definitely the biggest place to find players. And I'm proud to be from Brampton too. Like you could see my Instagram, like I have Brampton in capital letters in my bio because I'm proud. I want to get a tattoo Brampton on my leg. Like I'm very proud to be from Brampton, and you can ask anyone that knows me. So
I love that. Ben and I, we talk about, like, I own a Brampton Beast jersey, not so much because, it's my favorite hockey team, but it's cool to support something of your hometown. Like, I don't want to wear Toronto all the time as much as I love Toronto FC, but, it's like, it doesn't feel the same way as it does to put Brampton across your chest, right? And and if Ben has his way, he's going to bring a Brampton soccer team here very soon. So that's kind of our goal. Ben, let me ask you, since it's a bit of a round table, and in your eyes, what do you attribute all the success to? You don't go a week without covering somebody from Brampton or in soccer. What have you seen it? Because you're in a little different age group than me, so I'd be curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think Sean hit the nail on the head there. I think is hard work. A lot of hardworking people in Brampton. A lot of people who want to succeed. They want to. You mentioned there, people don't want to be from Toronto. They want to be from Brampton. They want to make a name for Brampton. I think there's a lot of people like that coming out of Brampton. You see people like Jonathan Osorio, for example.
Yep.
Tiba Hutchinson's gone all the way to the Champions League from with that sort of mindset, I think. So I think it's just sort of hard work and determination.
The amount of fields that we've kind of dedicated here, the soccer culture, it's kind of growing. Like World Cup time, Sean, if you've ever, been around here, I'm not sure if you were, kind of bringing to camp or if you get a chance to kind of drive down, like, the Italian flags are flying, the Portuguese flags are flying, the Jamaican flags are flying, Nigerian, Cameroon. It's amazing. Like there's just so much, people bring all their soccer culture over here, and then it kind of just, you got a team with 8 different nationalities of backgrounds of their parents, and now these kids are all playing together. It's a perfect little mixing pot here, and I think that it probably attributes a lot to it. Sean, before I let you go here, going through this next season, which is going to be a little bit tougher with the COVID, being away from mom and dad, being away from the family and friends, kind of what is the real short-term goal for the tournament? I know you touched on kind of, getting through it and giving it your all for this tournament, but with the uncertainty of where the CPL bubble may be or may not be, how are you kind of approaching the next couple of weeks, like on a day-to-day basis? What's motivating Sean Hundal right now?
The motivation I have is kind of just personally kind of just showing everyone who I am again. Last year with Ottawa, I didn't play too much, for whatever reason, but I feel like my whole personal goal is to just go in and remind everyone what I can do from my early years in the USL or whatever. I want to show all the fans, show everyone in Canada or Toronto that, like I'm still the same person, but better. And
right.
I want to go in, score some goals, get some assists, but as a team, more importantly, I want to win this thing. I mean, I know I've seen tweets. I know a lot of people are doubting Valor or trying to say they're not the top dogs or not, they were kind of the underdogs going into the tournament. And I feel like a lot of people don't know the talent we have on the team right now. A lot of people don't know how Rob's going to set us up, but we do. Like we know what to expect. We know what the game plan is. And as long as everyone believes in the game plan, I feel like we're going to do really well. So
that's amazing. I mean, I'm cheering for you as just more kind of I cheering for every Bramptonian that's through the league, but a Punjabi Bramptonian. I have a 7-year-old son who's aspiring to get through the TFC Academy and start through that process. And I don't know where that may go, but it'd be cool for him to be rocking a Sean Hundal jersey. Look up and be like, you know what, that kid looks a lot like I do, and if he can do it, then I can do it too. Where I think that's very, you've become an important player, not just for Brampton, which is fantastic, but for the Brampton Punjabi community, where there's so many people who are sometimes pulled away from soccer too. Because you know how the Punjabi community sometimes gets into this, you got to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer,
exactly.
A computer scientist and stuff like that. Me, a Punjabi doctor, telling you that. So it's kind of right. Kind of funny, but it'll be, I'd be proud if my son went through to soccer, and now to have a role model. Look, listen. In closing, I'll be rooting for you. I'll be cheering for you. I hope you're averaging a brace every game, except if you play Toronto FC in the CAN Championship.
Yeah.
In which case, I'm sorry, bro. I'll be sitting in the stands with my Michael Bradley jersey on, and hoping whatever goals you score, we score one more that day. So, yeah, that's it. Ben, anything in closing that you wanted to talk about with Sean, or?
No, I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Awesome. This is fantastic. A little Brampton soccer round table. Hopefully we can get more of these as, I'd love to touch back with you after your CPL experience is finished, or at least this tournament experience, and kind of find out what you went through, and we'll stay in touch, and I know all of Brampton will be rooting for you. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate the kind words again. It really is, it's nice hearing someone say those things out loud again, and just reminding me that, I'm not just playing for myself, I'm playing for a lot of other people. And thank you for the support. Thank you for having me on the interview. My pleasure doing everything. Awesome. Thank you. And on behalf of Ben and I and everybody at Waking the Red, we wish you nothing but the best of success for this coming season. Perfect. Thanks, guys.